So with the Maasai, trees are extremely important, and on my list the number one tree is called Olorien in Maasai, or Mirioi in El Chamos in Samburu. The wild olive, Olea europeana subspecies africana, or Olea africana. And I wanted to talk a bit more detail about my experience with the tree and the importance of it with the Maasai, because it's extremely important tree. So first of all the places that I've gone, people use it, even if it's not growing in the area, they get it from others, so it has been continues to be traded, and it is one of the most threatened one in the Maasai areas. It's depleting extremely rapid, and it's very sad because it's a very important tree for the environment. It's a very important tree for many things. So for the Oloirien, the Mirioi, the Maasais and the Samburus, I've seen this tree as a holy tree, especially the Maasais. In many ceremonies they use the leaves. For the elders, when they do some blessings, sometimes they use the leaves. For the Maasai, some groups of the Maasai, the leaves are used during different ceremonies like circumcision, for different reasons and different ways. And it's a spiritual tree, a holy tree, a godly tree. It's extremely important for the Maasai because of one aspect, especially, and that is its leaves. Its leaves can be given to the cows during dry times. So for the Maasai, they graze the animals on the savannah, and this kind of environments that they are in, some seasons are dry and the grass will not be enough, and even if it will be enough, the nutrition in the grass have gone down in the roots of the grass, so it will not give the strength for the cows. And also, for the Maasai, you have the seasons. Every year there is a drought. Some years there is 2 droughts. Some years the droughts are very prolonged. Some years the droughts are half a year. Some years the drought can be even a year. Some years the drought can be more than a year. And it goes that way. And they normally have, for every 5 years, they have a more severe drought. For every 10 years, they have a more severe drought. And it goes like that. So this has been the most important tree to keep the cows healthy during droughts. And what they've been doing is they've been saving big forests where the Eldoroba has been living, saving the forest, and they can go there. They've been seeing it as a holy forest, and they only go there when the cows are not doing well, and they have to save the cows. So they can take the cows there. They cut branches, and they do it in a certain way not to damage the trees. They cut the branches and give to the cows. And the cows just needs a small amount of the leaves to eat them, and they don't need to fatten, but they really become strong even if they get just something small. So there's something in the leaves that's medical for the Maasai, because they really give health for the cows. Another very important aspect of this tree is its herbal usage. All the tree is herbs. The leaves is herbs, the bark is herbs, the trunk is herbs, the roots is herbs. And for the Maasai, mostly they have used the bark. And the bark they have used it for deworming, deworming animals and deworming humans. And then they have been using the trunk of the tree for cutting some small pieces and using for the soup, using for tea, for building general strength in the body. It's a very, very nice tree. There's a lot of scientific evidence that this tree is very, very beneficial herbally in so many ways. And the leaves of the wild olive is actually used in some cosmetics. It's used in the Western world already, and it is similar to now the European Mediterranean species. Maybe this one is even more healthy, more herbal than that one. They have also used the tree for making clubs because the tree is really, really, really hard and tough, and they can make very, very unique clubs with it. Can you make nice spear handles and very nice sticks. It has been the preferred firewood and the preferred firewood and the cutting of the branches for its leaves is the two major things that and the construction, those three are the three major things that has made the tree to become threatened. And the biggest one is actually firewood, because in the culture it has been preferred using this tree, and there's a reason for that, because the Maasai, they live in mud houses, dark mud houses, and they have a fireplace inside, and that fireplace is normally lit the whole day. In the morning they use it for cooking some tea, maybe they cook some food in the day, or some more tea, and then some tea in the evening and food in the evening. So it's normally lit all day, and it is a preferred firewood in the houses because it doesn't really give much smoke. The smoke it gives a good smell. You can breathe it well. There's no problem. So in that sense, they have really, 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 really wanted to use this one as firewood, and it has really, really depleted a lot of the trees. Another very important aspect is the construction, because this one cannot be eaten by termites and it lives for a long, long time. So it's they've been using it for construction, for the big poles in the houses, for the bigger, stronger poles, and it lasts long. Maybe the house only lasts for 5 to 8 years, maximum 10 years, and then they can reuse the good big sticks for the next house, and they'll just have to add the cow dung and the small sticks. So it's a very, very nice tree for those aspects. And they've been using the charcoal a lot for the calabashes, for cleaning them before putting the milk, and it gives a nice smell. And scientifically, the charcoal will prevent mold from happening in the milk, and mold is something that likely can happen, and then it will take over. Instead of the milk turning to be fermented milk, it becomes molded milk and bad for you. So it has been very important for that aspect. It has been the first choice. I'm using several trees for burning it and making charcoal, and then cleaning those calabashes. And the Olorien tree is preferred one, number one. Very, very much number one, and likely because of the taste, and maybe also because it has medicinal properties. And the charcoal has also been the number one choice for cleaning the teeth. So traditionally they can burn the charcoal and then they eat small pieces with the hands, and then they can use a green stick of a branch of that tree or another tree, and then really clean and using this charcoal like the toothpaste, and then the green the fresh stick as now the toothbrush, and it can really remove these brown stains on the teeth and makes the Maasai to have extremely white teeth. So those are the reasons why I see Olorien to be the #1 tree for the Maasai. And yeah, it has many traditional uses. And I believe even for the future, even for modern uses, the importance of the leaves for beneficial fodder for cows is very promising. This is a tree that's very nice can be planted as a fence, and then as you prune it and make it straight and nice, you can harvest now the leaves, and they're useful for medicine or useful for fodder for both the goats and sheep and cows. And yeah, likely the bark can be used as medicine, the trunk can be used as medicine, and if you grow these trees on your own and you grow them straight, you can get nice timber that can be very strong for flooring, nice for flooring. Maybe the bench that you have in the kitchen where you cutting boards and yeah, a lot of different uses can be for the timber. So it's a very promising tree also for the future. So at the same time it's threatened and it's disappearing. There is an opportunity now. It's an opportunity for all the Maasai to plant this tree, and it can bring a lot of health and benefit in the future. And if you have cows and you live in Maasai areas and you don't have this tree, there is nowadays a lot of problems in the dry season. So if you plant this tree, you can avoid many cows dying during droughts, and instead being able to have a surplus of cows, selling cows and getting extra money. So it's a tree I'm very much promoting, extremely much promoting everyone to plant it for enormous amounts of benefits. And you can also make charcoal out of this tree, and the charcoal is extremely nice. Probably you can also use it for spiritual purposes, and just have a small stick and you light it and you use that smoke for the spiritual purposes. Most likely it has benefits with that too. So many uses of this tree. Many uses. So how do you plant a tree? So this tree can grow actually in very dry areas, but it doesn't grow in its own in very dry areas. And it doesn't spread well, you know. Why it's disappearing now is because the trees are cut, and the trees are cut and taken. And the young trees, the seeds that have been spread, the young trees that are growing up, they're completely finished by the animals, grazing animals, because they love the leaves. So it needs to be protected. It needs first to be planted in a polythene, needs to be grown up to be a seedling, and then planted and then protected for quite some time, and then this tree grows very slowly, so it needs to be protected. and until it has matured to the size where it will not be destroyed by the animals, it can live and stay on its own. Yeah, and this is a tree that can live for hundreds of years, so it's a very, very nice tree for the future. It has a very, if it's a big tree, it's it's evergreen, and it has a very, very nice shade. So there are more and more benefits why to have this tree in your garden if you live in Kenya, in East Africa, and other places. So yeah, I hope that makes it. And I hope you are encouraged to plant a tree, encouraged to know more about the tree, and that you see more value from the tree from this information. So I hope it educated you, and hope to talk to you again.